Hi, welcome back to another video. And today I'll be talking about the Michigan governor race for 2026 and how it is really filling up for the candidates on the Democrat side. As you can see from this news article title here, the Michigan Democrats setting up a crowded 2026 governor race. This is one of the closely watched governor races that I'll be watching, and probably others will be watching as well. And there are a lot of interesting candidates here that are that look like that are going to be jumping into the race here, including, as you can see here, Pete Buttigieg, who is in the Biden cabinet, but that is about to expire in about a month from now, so he'll be a private citizen along with everyone else that was in the cabinet, because obviously President-elect Donald Trump is not going to put anyone who was in Biden's cabinet in his cabinet, as we are seeing from all his cabinet appointees. So it looks like that Pete it might jump in the race here, but we do have some other candidates here. So as you can see here, this was an exchange with Pete uh, that had to do with the Michigan governor race. In a packed Union Hall outside Detroit, a worker shifts the conversation policy to personal, quizzing Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on his knowledge of Michigan, the state he only recently started calling home. Mayor Pete, Secretary Pete, I apologize. One auto worker yelled from the crowd, now that you're a Michigander, who do the Lions play Sunday? So this is going to be a challenge for Pete if he decides to actually run for governor, because originally Pete is not from Michigan. He is from Indiana, and so he doesn't know Michigan as well as probably some of the other candidates do. And a bigger problem with that is probably the voters don't know him. The Michigan voters don't know him as well as he'd want them to when you compare them to other Democrat or even Republican candidates. But most importantly, the Democrats. If there is a big flooded primary here, Pete could be in big trouble. His opponents, his Democratic opponents, could use this whole "he's originally from Indiana" thing, and he's out of touch with the Michigan voters, and it's going to be a very big challenge for Pete. Now, who are the other candidates here? I'm gonna scroll down here. I do have the Wikipedia page, but I like going for the article. I'm not sure if no, I think it's just mostly about Pete here. Yeah, so there's going to be several candidates here that are, running to succeed Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who in 2022 won her reelection by, I believe, double digits here. Let me just check. Yeah, you have Whitmer winning by over 10 points, defeating Dixon 43 to 54, almost 11 points, 10 and a half points. So obviously, the Michigan voters elected Whitmer, chose to elect her again, and now, she is term limited, so she cannot run again. We'll see what she does with her future. She's still pretty young in the eyes of politics, and we're going to see what she does. But more importantly, who the next Michigan governor will be. I think Republicans now have a pretty good chance at finally flipping the Michigan governor mansion and, finally putting a Republican back in the governor mansion of Michigan. Now, will they do it? It is way too early to tell, and it's still way early. I do believe the Democrats at this time are, favored here, which is why you're seeing so many Democrat candidates jump in the race for governor of Michigan in 2026. Now, here's the Wikipedia page for the 2026 Michigan governor election. Now, obviously, the incumbent right now is Gretchen Whitmer, who will expire in early of 2027, along with several other governors that are term limited, including some Republicans like Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis, and some others too. There's some others. The one from California. I lost his name. Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom from California. Obviously, will be term limited, so that's another interesting governor race to watch out for. But yeah, you have a lot of Democrat and Republican governors, a lot of popular and even some unpopular ones like Kathy Hochul from my state. She will be up for re-election, and we'll see if she's able to pull off a win or if she loses in an upset. But still, you do have a lot of Democrat and Republican governors, popular and unpopular, that are either up for re-election or term limit out, and the state is now set to elect a new governor after 8 years or 4 years, of having a governor. So the 2026 Michigan governor election is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be a race within a year's time. I will be paying attention very closely to. When we start to enter the midterms, we're still a long way out, and I am very excited to get into the Trump presidency. Not because I'm biased towards Donald Trump or anything. I am not. I try to remain unbiased. Maybe make it look like I don't like support him or hate him. But the reason I am excited for the Trump presidency is because I don't know if you guys remember, but during the beginning of Biden's presidency, the opposition towards with the Republicans was very massive. Biden struggled with inflation and high prices, and Republicans were able to use that to really take down these Democrat candidates in Virginia and almost New Jersey. They came close with New Jersey, so it's gonna be interesting if Donald Trump fumbles in the end of the first year of his presidency. It'll be interesting to see if the Democrats, who will be the opposition party, are able to use the issues that Donald Trump was doing bad at the time, and able to sink some Republican candidates. But still, that is way into the future, and we are way too early. We are not even in the Donald Trump presidency. We're still at the end of Joe Biden's presidency. Biden will leave office in 1 month from now. I can actually check on, let's see, Joe Biden will leave office. Okay, so 39 days. He will leave in 39 days. We are almost less than a month. It's crazy to think that. Let's see how many days to the 2026 midterms. Wow. A long time until we get to the 2026 midterms. I do wish it did show us how much time we had left to the 2025 governor races. But still, yeah, we'll get there eventually. Only a matter of time. Anyway, yeah, so this governor race is going to be very interesting to watch, and I can't wait to watch it. And we have a lot of candidates here, that are very important when it comes down to this race. They are replacing a new governor, and obviously I'm going to be tracking much more governor races during these next coming weeks and months. But for the Democrat side, we have the Michigan Secretary of State, who's been the Secretary of State since 2019. We have Pete, obviously Secretary of Transportation, 2021 till now. Who's set to leave in 2025 along with the entire cabinet. Former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and he was the candidate for the President of the United States 4 years ago. We have Mallory McMorrow, Michigan Senate Majority Whip and State Senator from the 8th District. And we have Chris Swanson, County Sheriff, 2020 to now. So we also have, those are the ones that have expressed interest. They are not been declared. We do have a declined Dan Kildee, U.S. Representative from Michigan's 8th Congressional District, 2013 till now. Potential Winnie Brinks, Majority Leader of the Michigan Senate. Garland, Lieutenant Governor of Michigan. So I actually can see the Lieutenant Governor of Michigan running for the governorship and possibly winning the nomination, because, he served under Gretchen Whitmer, and, he'd be, the next in line to be the governor of Michigan. Now, the challenge for him to be is if he can get the Michigan Democrat nominee for the governorship, if it's a crowded Democrat primary or not. That would be the real challenge, especially if Pete runs, someone who's been around for a long time, who's run for president before, but would now be running for governor of Michigan, and he was in President Biden's cabinet. So that'd be very interesting. We also have the Speaker of the Michigan House of Representatives. Obviously, he's been there for over a year now, the 10th district. So, it'll be interesting if he jumps in. I don't know if it'll be much of a challenge. Still too early to say. And then on the Republican side, let's see. The Republican side, we have expressed interest. Mike Cox, former Michigan Attorney General, and candidate for governor in 2010. So he ran for governor in 2010. I'm just gonna go back here, and see what that looked like back in 2010. Now, obviously, 2010 was a red wave year. Horrible year for the Democrats. And, it was really, one of the defining years of what was going to be Barack Obama's presidency. Now, Barack Obama has not been president for over 7 years now, and he has left the political spotlight here. But this was really, just one of the most horrible midterm years for the start of a presidency, and this was what the Republicans wanted 2022 to look like. But anyways, this was Michigan. 2010. Snyder won by 18 points for the Michigan governor. So yeah, this was 2010. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to look at. But anyways, oh man, where was I? Okay, so the Republicans. So we have former Michigan Attorney General, candidate for governor, Tudor Dixon. So I'm guessing Mike Cox actually didn't make it because he wasn't on there, right? He wasn't on there. Snyder was the Republican nominee who actually won by 18 points and became, or was elected the governor of Michigan. But anyways, back to this. We also have Tudor Dixon, which I do really think she would be kind of, uh, not that good of a candidate because she lost pretty badly by 10. Oh my goodness, where am I going here? By 10 points. If we go back to 2022, as I showed you, yeah, she lost to Whitmer by over 10 points. So it was a very horrible election performance by Tudor Dixon, and I do not, I don't think it'd be a good idea if she ran again. And if the Republicans were smart, they probably would not nominate her. Maybe somebody else more qualifying. We also have Jonathan Lidsley, state senator from the 17th district. Eric Nesbitt, minority leader of the Michigan Senate. I think he'd make a good Republican nominee against whoever the Democrats put up. If it's the lieutenant governor, if it's Pete, And we also have the, potential. This is only people who express interest. Potential. Dick DeVos, former CEO and nominee for governor in 2006, which 2006 was a blue wave year, by the way. We have the chair of the Michigan Republican Party, who was just, he's been around for a year now, 2024, it's about to be 2025, so he's been chair for almost a year now, and he's also the former U.S. ambassador to the Netherlands, and former U.S. representative for Michigan's 2nd Congressional District, and nominee for U.S. Senate in 2012. So this guy has been around for a while, and he really does have quite a history for himself, and, he could be a pretty decent, candidate if he's nominated for the Republican, on the Republican side for the Michigan governor. He could tout all his successes, as being chair, an ambassador, a House representative, and even the nominee for the U.S. Senate in 2012, So, yeah. But it looks like he did not do well for 2012. But anyways, we also have Perry Johnson. Now, I actually have heard of Perry Johnson when he ran for president this year, and obviously did not make it. He didn't do very well. I remember seeing him in the debate like one time. He made it for the first debate, and then I don't believe he ever made it again. However, if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. But yeah, we have a bunch of Republicans here. We have Tom Leonard, former Speaker of the Michigan House, and the nominee for Attorney General in 2018 and candidate in 2022. We have Lisa McClain, a representative for Michigan's 9th District. We have Pete Majera, former U.S. representative for Michigan's 3rd Congressional District. We have a whole bunch of Republicans here. We have the Public County Public Works Commissioner, and U.S. Representative and former Michigan Secretary of State. We have a former car dealer and candidate for governor in 2022, which, obviously he didn't make it out. We have Mike Rogers, former U.S. Representative and nominee for U.S. Senate in 2024. And then we have a chiropractor and candidate for governor in 2022. So obviously he didn't make it either, since Tudor Dixon got the Republican nominee in 2022. However, we have an independent candidate declared, Mike Dugan, mayor of Detroit. Oh yeah. Oh, I thought originally I did think that Mike Dugan ran as a Democrat. I didn't know he ran as an independent. So that's very interesting. To see how that does, if he's able to drag down either a Democrat candidate or a Republican candidate. So, and it'll be interesting to see how many votes he picks up. Maybe people, are interested in voting for an independent. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. And he was the mayor of Detroit. So, that's something that, you need when you're going to run for something like this. But yeah, all very interesting things. And I'm going to pull up here. So the polls will be interesting. These were the polls in 2022 against Gretchen Whitmer and Tudor Dixon. Obviously, as you can see by the polls, Whitmer was very favored, and that is why she won in 2022 by 10 points. So the polls, the election, it's going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to watch it. But yeah, anyways, that is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and subscribe, and you guys can follow me on Blue Sky at Vote Breakdown, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.